Look at that. I keep hitting buttons. This is why they don't let me hit buttons. I hit one button and all the show prep went out the window. So I just said I had to come on. I had to make it happen because that's what we do. We're trying to go live here. And yes, I could not pull. I just couldn't pull off. So we're going to do it live. You know, Bill O'Reilly said, blanket, we'll do it live. And that's what we are going to do. Thanks for being here. This is In Other News. I'm your host, Mike Russell. A lot to cover. Let's go ahead with a couple of follow-ups from yesterday. We're going to get into the United Healthcare CEO getting assassinated on a hit. Rhonda, I did respond to your email. I did reply. There we go. So I don't want to hear it. We'll get to that in a moment. Do you remember the lady that we're talking? She's like, I'm a hairstylist, and I will not refuse. I will refuse to style any Trump supporter's hair. Come to find out, this woman owns a hairstyling place, salon, whatever, in Coeur d'Alene, Iowa, Idaho, wherever the hell it is. And they're the same state. No one knows the difference between the two. No one knows the difference between the two unless they're yelling, O-H-I-O. That's it. Yeah. Anyway, Coeur d'Alene. And she is doubling and tripling down on her nonsense. She does not care. She is quite literally going to lose her entire business because of Trump support.
They're dropping like flies. I lost another one of my clients today who clearly was a Trump supporter.
Oh, evil.
And they sent me a message. They never cancel their appointment. They don't have the courage to cancel their appointment. And it's just...
Okay, woman, you don't have the courage to style someone's hair that voted different than you. Don't give me a lesson in courage. I don't want to hear it.
Fucking rude.
Well,
but
she's online dropping F-bombs, and and someone else was rude because they simply sent her a text.
She messaged me after I had messaged her, like, hey, I had you done at 3, just making sure you're on your way. I'm making sure you're okay. And she wrote back, Dear Tiffany, spelled my name wrong.
Oh.
I am so sorry that this last election has upset you so much as to elicit the hateful public post you made on TikTok.
Good call, girl.
Not once, but twice.
Yep.
I have really thought highly about you, and your posts have broken my heart.
They have.
Since you have made it clear how you feel about anyone who doesn't share your opinion, I feel you have left no opinion but for me to move on. I wish you the best, and I am terribly sorry.
I love that. Isn't that nice? Isn't that sweet? You see, this arch can't even understand that someone's being gracious and say, look, you've insulted me on social media because I voted for Trump. You did a blanket insult, so I'm just going to move on to a different hairstylist. And she tears her up.
So, just continuing to lose clients. And
good.
I would rather...
here we go.
Go work at Chipotle. And
Chipotle.
I was not lying when I said
I need a burrito bowl, guys. I really do. It was fantastic.
That I was headed to my Chipotle interview because I did apply to Chipotle because I'm not going to ask for a handout, and it's been a rough year. I'm a single mom.
Okay, by the way, hold on. Look at these. Look at those. Look at those nails. Look at those Edward Scissorhands nails she's got going on right now. Would you eat a burrito she makes? I don't know what kind of nonsense is under these nails. I have no idea what kind of nonsense is under those nails. Oh, yeah, we're totally going to hire you, lady, because you lost your entire business because you're afraid of Trump voters. We're going to hire you at Chipotle. There's not I don't care if they're a progressive, Kamala Harris supporting. I don't care if they're at the rallies. No one's hiring. The manager at Chipotle. Nobody's hiring her. No one.
Does help me out a lot during this time.
Yeah, her baby daddy, single mom. I'm a single mom. My baby daddy helped me out during these times.
Because I refuse to ask for help. But I would rather go and do what I need to do and work at Chipotle after my 22-year career in this industry.
Yeah, she's actually ripping people that work at Chipotle right now. She's like, I'd rather work at Chipotle. I'd rather be that kind of low scum.
And refuse to let people feel comfortable in my space to support racism, homophobia, and misogyny, and rapist.
Oh.
I would rather go work there than have people feel comfortable in my space.
Can I just clarify? I'm done with her. Can I clarify the whole rape thing, the E. Jean Carroll deal? Anderson Cooper had to cut to commercial. Like, it was just stopped and cut to commercial when E. Jean Carroll was on his show and said, rape is sexy, don't you think? Rape is sexy. She has not one, but 11 additional charges out against wealthy men because she felt uncomfortable in their presence at one time. She doesn't remember what happened, just like Donald Trump. Don't tell me convicted rapist. I don't even hear that crap ever again. It's so over it. Oh, how much those nails cost? Oh, those are press-ons. I ain't gonna lie to you. If you get those at Target. So you can tell you misogyny. She didn't know what misogyny is. She's a single mom that's leaning on her baby daddy to keep her doors open, and now she's gonna walk away and work at Chipotle so he can help me out more during these difficult times. You think about it. A lot of us are small business owners. How hard it is, how much money it costs, time and effort to start a brick and mortar business. It's absurd. If you haven't tried it before, it is absolutely absurd. I was in Barnes & Noble yesterday, and Queen Bee and I went on a nerd date. I was looking for a business book that I read so many years ago, and I forget what it was. If you guys can help me with this, I would so appreciate it. It was the book that kind of exposed that 80-something% of small businesses go out of business in the first 5 years. And they give the example of, and this is what it stood with me. It's like, you don't go in business unless you're a business person. Your aunt can make the best pies in the world. If you remember the book, you remember this analogy. Your aunt can make the best pies in the world. Everybody say, oh, you shouldn't run a pie shop. You should have a pie shop. She opens a pie shop. She loses her whole savings and goes out of business because she doesn't know how to run a business. It takes a lot of time, effort, and money to start a small business. This woman is losing her business because of Trump derangement syndrome, brought to you by the asshat slappies at CNN and MSNBC. Period. And the alphabets. They have everyone thinking, hell, I had Queen Bee tell me he's probably not as bad as they say he is he? No, he's not. But the mass society is meant to punish those that support the dude. It's crazy. $9 for a full set, $30. But okay, so Rhonda, but at the same time, I mean, you understand, even if you're renting a space, it seems like in Coeur d'Alene, this is actually her shop. Some of those stylists just rent a chair. They rent like a barbershop. So basically they pay a fee for the chair. I can own a barbershop. I can own a barbershop. I can't even trim my own beard. I can own a barbershop. And that could be, there's 10 seats. People, barbers will pay to own that little spot or to rent that little spot. So, but she's throwing all of this away because of Trump derangement syndrome. This is seriously a mental disorder. It really is. This is one man amongst 335 million Americans. One man causes her to say, I don't care. I'd rather go work fast food than be a small business owner. It's sad. Oh my God, Grizz. Dude, I got the chills. Thank you. Bro, I was serious. I was going through the business section. Just my eyes were going, my eyes are getting tired just going over each one of those. Thank you very much about that. I appreciate that. I knew you guys would come hook me up. I read that years and years and years ago. And let's kind of dig into that real quick before let's get rid of that Bozette. I don't care. She loses her business. That's her because and by the way, the culpability, a giant slice of the culpability pie belongs to the media that made her so afraid of Donald Trump that she gave up her business. So anyway, the 80% of businesses, or 80 whatever percent it says in the E-Myth, they go out of business in the first 5 years. There's a reason for that. And I don't want that to discourage anybody who wants to run their own business. Please don't let that discourage you. There's a reason why. The reason why is because you can only claim a loss on a business on your income taxes for a certain amount of years. That 5th year, you have to claim everything and actually pay taxes on your business expenses. On your business proceeds. So most people will punt start a new LLC, same business, new LLC. Now they hit the clock. The clock's ticking again, and they can claim a loss for the next 4.5 years. Truth. It becomes the tax code. That's why that happened. There's an old tax. The old tax code, you could claim a loss for a certain amount of years, and then you had to at least show you were making some money. And that's when people would just drop the business and start a new one. Do you remember the let's say Ginsu knives and all that? Those were a perfect example. Those guys, holy mackerel. Started Ginsu, gave a forever guarantee. And by the way, the forever guarantee, if you read it, was forever guarantee of the product, forever of the product. So the product broke, the product's done. The forever of that product is done. Scammed a lot of people into buying Ginsu and then dropped. Came back as Ginsu 2000. For the suckers that didn't buy it the first time. Ginsu 2000. Then they came back as Miracle Blade. And then Miracle Blade 2. They just kept doing this over and over. They would just file bankruptcy, go out of business, come back as next, same damn knife. Same knife. Isn't that weird? Yeah. I don't know. Is my sign uneven? What's going on here? Is this uneven? No, a little askew, if you will, much like your host. What's up, Ken? She's going to sell a burrito to someone with a mag. Oh, my God. Could you imagine? She's at Chipotle. She starts chucking guacamole at him. I would actually go to Coeur d'Alene just to have guacamole chucked at me. If anyone wants to chuck guacamole at me, I'm in. I can catch. I played baseball for a very long time. I do not miss. I can catch. Whoo! I will catch all that guacamole. I love me some guacamole. A terrible company does the same thing. Gives you a 10-year warranty, but within 2 years, shuts down and opens up under a new name. Exactly, Grizz. Dude, yeah. Yeah. So E-Myth, God. And I think there was the E-Myth Revisited or something like that as well. I got to check that out. But I know I'm seriously going to buy a few copies of that for a few small business owners of mine that in my friend group that solid book, but I appreciate that, Chris. Thank you very much. But yeah, she's toast. Yesterday, y'all, I want to talk about this assassination. I don't know, is it an assassination? When do we go from hit murder to assassination? Do you have to be an elected official for an assassination? The man was guac tossing me fast. Brendan, don't distract me like that, because I think a guac tossing, there might be little people involved. Anyway, so the man, the CEO of United Healthcare was gunned down in the streets of Manhattan. This was an assassination. Assassination, a hit. Let's just call it a hit. This stinks to high hell. And I want to know how fired up we are as a country about it. We're not. Does it... I understand, Grizz, it's semantics, but I think a hit and an assassination, maybe two different things. We had the United Healthcare CEO gunned down, killed in broad daylight, well, early morning light, and escape on a bike, a city bike, a trackable city bike, bought coffee before and a traceable. He's on video. We have his picture. Can't find him. Can't find him. He went to Central Park to run around, having a good time. This is as deep as it goes. I know that Nancy Pelosi bought a lot of shady stock and kind of around the, their whole data breach thing. I don't know, y'all. I really don't know. But are we surprised? Will we ever find out? No. Here's why we will never find out why the CEO of United Healthcare was gunned down. Here's exactly why we will never find out. We still know nothing, zero, about the first assassination attempt to Donald Trump. We know nothing, zero, about the second assassination attempt to Donald Trump. We know a couple of the videos the guy had, but whatever. The first one, they went and scrubbed his house. There was no silverware in the house. It was a front. You think we're really going to find out what happened to the United Healthcare CEO? No. I was watching a video about this. CNN was doing a report online, the streaming service, and they had the comment section kind of scrolling. The most disgusting people in the world watch CNN. I'm sorry. If you watch CNN and you're to the point that's going to comment on a CNN show, these are sick people. These are the worst of us. I saw thoughts and deductibles to his family. Screw you. What? The man literally didn't deserve to be assassinated. He was actually going to tell the truth. Probably help you out a little bit. Probably change the industry that has those deductibles that piss you off, but you're happy he died? He deserved death? His high deductibles are sensible by death? It's absurd. We're never going to find out what's going on. No. Okay, somebody's bringing us. Oh, come on, Mike. Really, bro? Why? You know that's going to distract me. When I see Super Troopers, you know it's going to distract me. It's one of the funniest movies in history. Oh my gosh. I needed to bring it. Yeah, it's a meow. For a Meowga supporter. Meowga supporter? Yeah. And a liter of cola. All right. The government. Oh, yeah. Dude, yeah. Shady, you know what, brought to you by the government and mainstream media. You're right, Rhonda. It's just gross. It is. And again, it's funny to me that we could go in, find out the money laundering scheme that Ukraine is, find out how much these punk congressmen and their families are making off of war and people dying. Go ahead and expose everybody for the pandemic. Go ahead and do all of that. I want this more than anything. This is what I want. I want to know who had who killed, and I want them rung up. I do want the Obama family rung up for killing their chef. What the hell does chef know? Oh, I want them all rung up. Clintons, I want them done. I don't care if all of the Trump kids did it. I want them rung up too. Don't care. You all have screwed us over. We have had it. We have a Pentagon that has failed 7 straight annual audits, and we're okay with that. This stuff we can't be anymore. No, we can't be anymore. Lynn, I have no idea if I have uplifting stories today. I really don't know. Because I hit a button apparently at right when I was going live, and all of my audio that I loaded went to you. Declassify everything. It's the only way to do it. Let's get to this. Yesterday I was doing some follow-ups here. Yesterday, we had the butte from the ACLU, the XX chromosome having guy that is attorney that is in front of the Supreme Court, was in front of the Supreme Court yesterday. Oh my Lord, what a absolute circus this is. Because when you come at the Supreme Court like this person, human thing, the Supreme Court ain't having it. Like, dude, you are a biological female with a mustache, and I've got to call you sir. The Supreme Court doesn't do that. Doesn't do that. So let's get into what went on. And if you all don't know you can do this, this is where I nerd out. This is where I go to nerd level 11. Is when they're live streaming the audio from the Supreme Court. Oh, it's yeah. It's like nerd penthouse letters to me. I got no idea. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, so let's get to some of this. What do we do first? I'm gonna pick a couple. I'm gonna put my glasses on because again, I had to reload this stuff. Ketanji Brown, Justice Jackson, if you're nasty, was on here, and she was every kind of terrible. Sonia Sotomayor, Justice Sotomayor, literally compared hormone treatment and transitioning an 8-year-old to taking Tylenol. So let's start with Ketanji.
By the statute. That was sort of like the starting point. The question was whether it was discriminatory because it applied.
Girl pulled the race card, pulled the discrimination card out of the gates. Out of the gates right away. How is this racist? Now we know how Judge Jackson is going to be. Rob and I were doing our best to give her the benefit of the doubt during her confirmation. We're like, you know what? Even though she couldn't define a woman, we're like, okay, well, but she's a progressive, whatever. But she is she has a decent history. She has a solid record. Like we're going to, let time be the best judge of this. Oh my God, forget it. She's straight up race card.
To both races, and it wasn't, necessarily invidious or whatever. But, as I read the statute here, the case here, the court starts off by saying that Virginia is now one of 16 states which prohibit and punish marriages on the basis of racial classifications. And when you look at the structure of that law,
quite literally, we have an argument We have an argument, quite literally, that is about the ability for 8-year-old children to have their genitals mutilated and hormone treatment. And she's bringing up biracial marriage? When the hell did we get rid of that ban? What in the why? This has nothing to do with that. Nothing. That's right. That's right, Sterling. She is not a biologist. That's right. Yeah. I mean, woman, what, please, Justice, come on.
Looks in terms of, you can't do something that is inconsistent with your own characteristics. It's sort of the same thing. So
nope, it isn't.
It's interesting to me that we now have this different argument, and I wonder whether Virginia could have gotten away with what they did here by just making.
She's talking to talk. She literally has something. I'm upset about this because she's talking just to talk. Her clerks handed her a case to talk about in a different state, to Virginia. We're talking about a Tennessee case. I wonder if Virginia could have gotten away with that. What? Woman, you literally are the highest court in the land. Y'all need to start acting like it. This is absolutely absurd. And Sotomayor was no different. And I don't know what the hell happened to her. Apparently she was there to shill some books. Let's see what this. I don't know what this one is. We'll start with this one.
Operates on the body in the
here
same
she keeps
way.
on.
So what's your basis for saying they're not the same?
I don't think it operates on the body in the same way. Take testosterone. If you give a boy with a deficiency testosterone because he has constitutional delayed puberty, that allows him to go through and develop the reproductive organs associated with being a male. If you give it to a girl, it renders the girl infertile.
Yep.
So we have 8 to 12-year-olds.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought your reasons for them being different was that you said they were for different purposes. I'd heard you say at the beginning the reason those two are different.
She won't even listen.
One wants them to transition, and the other wants them for some medical purpose.
Well, to go back to my example,
for a medical purpose,
in the introduction, I don't
think
anyone would say using morphine to assist suicide is the same treatment as using morphine to manage pain. It's the same drug, just like it's the same drug here, but they're being used for fundamentally different purposes. They have different effects on the body. And once you take out and you recognize medical reality, then there is no argument that our law differentiates between treatments for males and females.
Once you take out, this is so brilliant. Good job, Maddie. Once you take out medical reality, and that's what we have done. We quite literally, as a society, have removed, in several societies around the world, by the way, we have removed medical reality, biological reality. I asked that several times. Follow the science. What science are you talking about to follow? The science we're making up on the go? The science that isn't evolving, the science that is devolving? Is that what the science you want me to follow? You want me to follow the same people, the same party that tell me that there's 85 genders, that I'm supposed to tell you that the science says that Pfizer and Moderna came up with a miracle drug that for the first time in human history eradicated a virus? Please. Oh, she does know it's not a med condition. That's right, Chris. That's right. Yeah, Sotomayor calls herself a lot. She loves speaking of herself in the third person. Let's keep at it, shall we? This is just we're just having too much fun here. Let's go. Here we go.
Eliminate the risk of detransitioners. So it becomes a pure exercise of weighing benefits versus risk. And the question of...
So Matt came with stats. Matt came with stats that said, basically, here are how many kids are absolutely abused at an early age and mutilated at an early age. And by the way, if you're 18 and you want to do all of this, go nuts. Go have at it. You go do you. You're an adult. I love you. This country, we say 18's an adult. You do what you want to do. Go nuts. Have at it. Mutilate anything you want to mutilate. Well, if you don't agree with that, you don't worry about an 18-year-old girl getting breast augmentation. Okay? Do what you do. 18, you're an adult, you can do it. But he came with stats and said, here's how many kids have detransitioned. And now their lives are ruined. Their bodies are absolutely destroyed because of this. And here's again.
How many minors have to have their bodies irreparably harmed for unproven benefits is one that is best left.
I'm sorry, counselor.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, Sonia is so upset. Justice Sotomayor is so upset. And by the way, she was the first one that we were slapped every time we said the name wrong, remember? And then Sotomayor, we have to say. And then it was Kamala. If you didn't say Kamala, you were racist. Said Kamala, you're a racist. Anyway, here she comes. Oh, clutching her pearls.
Every medical treatment has a risk, even taking aspirin. There is always going to be a percentage of the population under any medical treatment that's going to suffer a harm.
Does anyone want to reach across the screen and smack her? Are you kidding me? She has quite literally just compared, transitioning a child at 8 and 9 years old to taking aspirin. Every medical treatment has some side effects. I'm allergic to aspirin, can take it. My side effect is a little phlegm, I get a little verklempt, my Kalepnik is like down here. Just a little gespilkes. That's it. That's not me cutting off my genitalia and all my naughty bits and tucking them in. Never mind. Yeah. Catan Gaylord. I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Yeah. All right. Let's get to Alito, because Alito just dunked on this guy. Hold on. Let's get to the Alito clip here.
In every respect, but on page 195 of the Cass report, it says,
because now the argument from the XX male, the double X chromosome having male that is representing the ACLU and going up against the Supreme Court, argued if you don't do gender affirming care, God, it ticks me off. Look, these kids can't pick their bedtime. They're not allowed to pick their own bedtime. They can't pick their own screen time, but you're allowing an 8-year-old to pick their own gender. Sorry, I'm way fired about this. This is child abuse to the nth degree. Again, when they're 18, go nuts. Do what you want to do. You're an adult. Oh, my tip is to stop, Brendan. So anyway, the argument is if you have gender affirming care, it will cut down on suicides. Alito just smacks this kid, this girl, this XX having, male. I don't know, but I know this person has XX chromosomes, but here we go. This is how it went down. Alito, my man, get it.
there is no evidence that gender affirmative treatments reduce suicide.
What I think that is referring to is there.
This is what I meant. This is literally what I meant by the Supreme Court ain't having this. So Chase Strangio just tries to take on Justice Alito. So Alito says there's zero evidence that says that what you were proposing cuts down on suicides. And then
Reduce suicide.
What I think that is referring to is there is no evidence in the studies that this treatment reduces completed suicide. And the reason for that is completed suicide, thankfully and admittedly,
it's a suicide that identifies. It's a call for help and a cry for help that identifies as a suicide. Got it.
It is rare, and we're talking about a very small population of individuals with studies that don't necessarily have completed suicides within them. However, there are multiple studies,
Show me. Dude, you went in front of the Supreme Court of the United States of America. Don't you dare tell me, there's been multiple studies. Kick rocks, bro. Dude, seriously, whatever you are, person, you are literally in the highest court of the land as an attorney. Less than 1/10 of 1% of attorneys get this shot. And you go, there are plenty of studies. Where are they, dude? Chicky, whatever. Oh, this is absolutely absurd. Okay, we'll get back to it, but I mean, come on. Oh, there's plenty of studies. Where?
Longitudinal studies that do show that there is a reduction in suicidality, which I
Suicidality, son of a biscuit.
I think is a positive outcome to this treatment.
Let me ask a question about another issue that came up during Justice Kagan's questioning and Justice.
Yeah, and by the way, Justin Kagan is nails. She's not on our side on this, but she wasn't sitting there like Ketanji talking about it's racist not to give a kid. Holy mackerel! No, I'm not lying. Kagan's it. Okay, on that side, as far as a liberal mind, I mean, she'd mop the floor with RBG. She really would. She is that smart. So her listening to her was fantastic. It was even keel. It was good. It was solid. It was well studied. And just Alito was like, kid, don't even try. Biologically female. Yes, he is biologically. He is quite literally biological female. He is an XX having with a mustache. XX. Can I get an XX with a side of stash? Side of some facial hair here. We're just going to make it up as we go along. It's just going to be, we already have it, don't we? We already have genetic, not mutations. What do you call it? We're changing genetics. You can basically go from a menu and pick how your kid's going to look and all that. We can do that. We can still do that. This is going to happen. And by the way, these rulings don't come out until like June and things like that. This is going to be Trump and everybody's already going to have enough headlines where I don't even know if this is going to get anywhere. But here's the deal. We all knew, whether you took the jab or not, we all knew that there was questions that needed to be asked that weren't allowed to be asked. When it comes to the rechanging of our English language and calling child sex changes gender affirming care and health care for children and minors, we know this is a bunch of questions we have to ask that we can't ask because now we're transphobic. This is right out of the anarchist cookbook. This is Rules for Radicals. At this point, it's like 6 of one doesn't have the other. Liberal mind, nice. Just in oxymoron, yeah. I don't even look. I would say that the educated liberals that I hang out with, I will tell you that even they in their soul know the truth on this. Just again, if a kid can't choose his bedtime, he can't choose a new gender. I'm sorry. If the kid can't make financial and investment and savings decisions for the family, they can't choose their gender. If they can't rent a car, for the love of God, they can't choose their gender. This isn't even going to be close. This is going to go bye-bye. And you know what? It's the ACLU's fault. I'm sorry. It's ACLU's fault for putting that slappy up there. It really is. Come on. Who do you think do you think Justice Thomas is looking at this guy and going, yeah, I'm listening to you. He just go like this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. At 8 years old, I wanted to be Batman. I wanted to be Batman too. Who didn't want to be Batman? I wanted to be Lion-O from the Thundercats. Right? I identify as a kitty cat. Thundercats, ho! They changed everything. Predators are, dude, minor attracted people. Grizz, seriously, this is when you change the language, change the verbiage of this. And if you say, and this is what I saw at TED Talk where some absolute lunatic was saying that pedophilia in minor attracted persons was a sexual preference like being gay, they can't help it. Okay. Then raise your hand and we'll go ahead and ship you off somewhere. They ain't going to be around me. They ain't going to be around my kids. Sorry. You can be gay. I don't care. It doesn't bother me one little bit. Never did, by the way. Back in the 80s and 90s when it was what we do in our own bedroom is our choice. Cool. Keep it that way. I've been consistent this entire time on gay rights. Look, if sure, cool, marry who you want to marry. I don't care. If it's legal, they're adults, it's consenting, I'm in. I don't care. Marry 4 people. I don't care. Yeah, can't buy smokes, can't get a tat, can't buy a gun. Exactly, Grizz, but you can choose what your gender is. These people are mentally deranged. This is a mental illness that we're seeing. Hole puncher attracted people. That's a stretch on that one. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm telling you. By the way, again, all I want to do, the truth shall set you free. I want the Diddy list. I want the Epstein list. I want to know everything I want all the COVID correspondence, and I think I'm good after that. I know we're wasting money. I know Ukraine, everything. I know it's a Ponzi scheme. Everybody knows it. Oh yeah. What do we talk about next here? Let's go. Wait, let's go with Trump's new head of the IRS. The man he chose. God, I love this. This is so much fun. The man he has tapped to head the IRS. I'm a little concerned, and for obvious reasons that we're going to see why I'm concerned. Oh shoot! No, wait a second. Hold on. Before we get to that, I forgot an entire Supreme Court clip. Here we go. No, check us out.
Does the category of does transgender status apply to individuals who are gender fluid?
That is I forgot to say, that is the greatest question that we have had. If you are gender fluid, how do legal protections stack up for you? That is the question of the day.
I think that
and same to this
characteristic
person
is to have a birth sex that does not align with, or a gender that does not align with one's birth sex. So it may include people who have different understandings of their gender identity, but I think it is still the distinguishing characteristic of a birth sex and a gender identity that are incongruent.
Are there individuals who are born male, assigned male at birth, who at one point identify as female, but then later come to identify as male? And
great question.
Individuals who are assigned female at birth at some point identify as female. Identify as male, but later come to identify as female. Are there not such people?
There are such people. I agree with that, Justice.
So it's not an immutable characteristic.
Yeah,
is it?
right. So why are they protected?
People's understanding of it shifts, but the evidence shows that there is at least a strong underlying basis. And I think the normative reason for that particular consideration is whether or not this is something that someone should or could change, and whether they should have to change it in order to receive constitutional protections. And I think
and they shouldn't. And they should not. In 100%, in a million D%, they should not. End of story. That's it. I can't change the color of my skin. Period. I can't change where I was born. I can't change the class. I can't change any of that. I can change my gender. But once I firmly change my gender, then we have something. If gender fluidity is on there in a protected class, it cannot be. Because everybody can fall into that category at any time. Seriously. Asexuality is a gender fluid, is part of the LGBTQI whatever spectrum. So if a dude's not getting any from his wife, he's like, I'm asexual. I'm a protected class now. It is absolutely absurd. I'm so tired of this noise. Don't ask, don't tell. Bill Clinton's don't ask, don't tell. Greg, whatever. Who cares? Move on. But if you're on TikTok talking about the silly code of the military, I saw this video the other day, won't let me wear my makeup, silly code of the military, and you're throwing it on, and that person's in their military, please. Bye. Immediately discharged. That's section 7? What is that one from MASH what Klinger was trying to get? Section 8. What was it? I forget what it was. Yeah. You cannot change. Rhonda, in that, I think that's the argument that I've given as well, and I think you and I walk lockstep on that, is that you have 8 to 9 trillion chromosomes in your body. Each of those are XY or XX, period. And again, I'll ask the question. If having boy parts don't make you a boy, how is getting rid of them going to make me a girl? This entire argument is irrational, is completely irrational. Oh, go ahead. Reform the court right now. Go ahead and do it. Give me 3 more justices. Give Trump 3 more. I can't. I can't even think that this is a thing. Anyway, Trump's appointments are always fun to talk about. The head of the IRS is actually a auctioneer. Now, I am a little concerned about this. I love this, but I'm a bit concerned about this. But it's funny, so we'll play. Come on, please.
Another thing, being an auctioneer in Congress, the
guy is an auctioneer. He's having a hard time keeping his breath as he's standing there. So I'm going to say it, whatever. I'm going to be mean. I don't care. I'm going to be mean. You need to pick people who are going to last 4 years. This guy is standing and speaking and losing his breath. Dude needs to make some changes, or we just need to get somebody else. I'm not kidding. I'm not playing. I know I'm a mean person. That's fine. 4 years this dude's got to last. He can't even stand and breathe. Oh, but he's funny, and that's my prerequisite. There we go.
debt is running out of control. They find it very handy to have Jeff Duncan and myself here in Washington. We are one of the few people that can actually keep up with the national debt.
This poor guy can't even. I'm actually feeling bad for him right now, but listen to this, because I love some auctioneering.
I'm going to tell you 2 trillion now, 3 able to buy them, 3 trillion now, 4 trillion dollar, 5 trillion, 6 trillion, 7 able to buy them, 7 trillion, 8 trillion dollar, 9, 10, 11 trillion down here, 12 trillion, 13, you able to buy them, you're out of here, 13 trillion, 14 trillion now, 15, I have sold it 14 trillion. Thankfully, Mr. Speaker, we also can say those numbers backwards, so when we get the spending under control here, I'll be back.
I ain't mad at this guy. I'm scared for that guy, but I ain't mad at that guy. Y'all, I've done that so many times. Do you understand? I had to auction things. Do you understand how hard that is? It is one of the hardest things to do ever. And it started, I was emceeing a gig, and they said, hey, we actually have a live auction item. We need you to auction it off. I'm like an auctioneer? Or do you just want me to say, okay, let's start the bidding at 100? Can somebody give me $100? Okay, great. Let's how about 150? You know, like, you can't do it that way. There has to be a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of woo and a lot of this and a lot of this and a lot of screaming. And that's right. That's why they say it's almost hypnotic. It gets people to spend more money. Dear God. You win. No, I'm gonna put this dude back up. I'm gonna put this guy back up here. He does. He looks like the hypnotherapist. You mean each and every day is worse than the previous day? Yeah, man, that's fucked up. That is fantastic. Good job. Oh, that's good. Oh. Trump executive orders January at 100. I take the over. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. It'd be hard. It would be hard, Greg, to we'll get to this thing. I mean, I think it'd be hard for the Trump administration, basically conservatives in general. I think if at least 40, I'm going to say at least 40, because it was 40 day one for Biden, and I think he'll just immediately reverse those. So we'll see. 100 is going to be close. That's for sure. Yeah. Oh, your maternal grandfather is an auctioneer. Ah, man, I tell you, I started everything. What do you want to give? That's what I started. That was my first thing. The hardest thing was because you need to stop eventually and say, this again is what we're talking about. This is the product. This is the item that I'm auctioning. And up here, sounding like Porky Pig having a seizure. This is what I'm doing it for. And it's for charity. What do you want? And so now I go back and I have to figure out, okay, who the hell had the last bid and what the hell was it for? I'm not kidding. So it's not easy. It is not easy. Whew, man. But I did it, and I do it a lot. And I'm not good at it. And Queen Bee watch. I think Queen Bee watched 5 or 6 YouTube videos on how to be an auctioneer, and she says she's better than me. And she's like, you have to double tap. $1, $2, $3, $3. I'm like, well, that's not how you auctioneer, but it's okay. But we have an auctioneer as the head of the IRS. Okay, good. I mean, again, if I don't agree with your policies, if I don't agree with your picks, if I don't agree with anything, guess what? Entertain me. And I'm totally okay with you. 100% okay with you. Now let's scare the bejesus out of you, because something's off, guys. Something's off here. And we need to talk about it because this is dicey. Remember Dr. Hotez? The scam artist, fear-baiting POS that scared countless people that should not have received a jab into getting a jab, shilling on CNN. He has gone off the rails. He's now done. He's wrote a book. He has made a substantial amount of money scaring the hell out of people. He should be what's the medical, have your license? Yeah, he should have his medical license stripped from him. Here's Dr. Hotez.
Here's the reason why we need to care about.
Check in on him. Somebody want to check up on Doc? Pete's not looking good. Look at him. I mean, look at this guy. Throw some water in your hair, man. Pretend like you care now. He has absolutely lost his mind. He has lost his mind. And I want you to hear what he has to say because ain't nobody going to care. Listen to this.
This stuff, Nicole, is that we have some big picture stuff coming down the pike starting on January 21st. Mr. Bloomberg mentioned H5N1.
Okay, whoa. Wait a second. Starting when, you hack piece of garbage? Starting when?
Coming down the pike, starting on January 21st.
Starting on January 21st is going to be viruses. The hell is this guy? He literally said we have viruses coming down the pike starting on January 21st. When do you have a start date for a virus? I'm not kidding. First step of the Trump administration, go grab this dude and lock him up. He knows something. He knows something that we need to know.
Mr. Bloomberg mentioned H5N1. That I'm really worried about. It's all over wild birds on the western part of the United States and going up in the north. It's getting into the poultry.
Oh, they're going with the poultry again because we're gonna keep in mind, because go with the poultry again. We're going to start making sure that the food supply is all jacked up, which has been 4 years of our food supply getting completely jacked up is one of the major reasons we have the prices we do at the grocery store. Now, make sure he knows the H5N1's going to hit the poultry. This sick SOB is telling us it's going to hit on the first day of Trump's presidency. You sick bastard.
We're seeing sporadic human cases, no human-to-human transmission yet, but that could happen. It's in the cattle, it's in the milk, and that's just the beginning. We have another major coronavirus likely brewing in Asia. We've had SARS in 2002, SARS-2, COVID-19 in 2019, and we know these viruses are jumping from bats to people, thousands of...
He's still on the bats. He's still on the bats. They're jumping from bats to people. This guy needs to be arrested immediately and shut down. I'm sorry. He is a public health risk. Holy. This guy needs to be barred from being on TV. 100% barred on being on TV.
Times a year, but there's still more. We know that we have a big problem with mosquito transmitted viruses all along the Gulf Coast. Where
we have had that for years, you bozrod. We really have. We seriously have had mosquito. Oh, shut up.
I am here in Texas, so we're expecting dengue and possibly Zika virus coming back.
I want dengue. Dengue. Let's dengue. Dengue sounds worse than anything he's ever said. He said all that stuff. Bird flu, COVID, Zika, got it. Sounds like Zima, so it sounds fantastic. Dengue? No, I'm not even going to tell you what dengue sounds like to me. It sounds like fluid's going to come out of every orifice of your body. It's a dengue. I got the dengue.
Or a Puche virus.
That's your Puche.
Yellow fever. And there's more.
Hell?
Then we have
the bubonic plague. Leprosy running rampant. This absolute ass.
All this sharp rise in vaccine preventable diseases going up because of, in part, the anti-vaccine activism that's so prominent right now. We have a five-fold rise in pertussis cases, whooping cough over the last year, 15 measles outbreaks this year. We've got polio. That's
15 people got the measles. 335 million of us. Hey, 15 of us got the measles. Oh, wow. Oh,
and in the wastewater in New York State.
no, by the way, no, Greg, 70s porn is infinitely better than this. Infinitely better than this. Even the acting was better than this.
All that's going to come crashing down on January 21st on the Trump administration. We need a really, really good team to be able to handle this.
This sick SOB just said all of these viruses are coming on the 21st, and we need a good team in place to handle this. Are you threatening me? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, that's the second Cornholio reference of mine today. Yeah, anyway, I'm not going to reference the first one. Anyway, by the second one. I'm sorry, is that probably the sickest thing you've ever seen? That's disgusting what I'm looking at. I mean, he's jacked up. His hair's all messed up. He's got a bunch of, twine going from one thing to the next. And it's just, dude's out of his mind. It's all going to happen on the 21st. What an ass. Look, I ain't playing around. I have more ivermectin than I could probably take care of all of us with ivermectin. And I bought a bunch of ivermectin. And the reason why I did that is because there's several reasons. Because it's a it's a Nobel Prize winning drug. It's amazing. And now they're linking it to curing cancer and stopping growth in cancer cells? Yeah, I want that. I don't want what the government's going to not let me have or let me have. I want what I want. I want what I've read. I want that. So every time I'm down Mexico way, I grab a few boxes. Oh, it is. You're right, Ron. I apologize. What I meant was Schmeiber-Schmeckton. The Schmeiber-Schmeckton. But I'm loading up on it. I do. I load. I don't. You load up on it. Don't load up on it. You get a doctor to get you a script. Don't get a doctor to get you a script. Here's the deal. Had an ER doctor tell me how to get Schmeiber-Schmeckton. An ER doctor when I had the Rona. He told me how. I said, is this worth all the problems? It's trouble getting it? He goes, do you want to get better or no? Yes. Yes, I'd like to get better, please. See, this everybody's coming. Are you threatening me? Mm-hmm. The Beavis and Butthead movie is one of the most underrated. Remember when Siskel and Ebert did their thing? 2 enthusiastic thumbs up for the Beavis and Butthead movie. It's a fantastic movie. It's funny. It's adult. It's great. It is absolutely fantastic. It's got great acting. Demi Moore's in it. Like, they got great actors. It's fantastic. Yes. Mm-hmm. Full cavity searches. The best thing, if I can find the clip, I'll try to find it, is when Butthead gets a full cavity search at the FBI, and he comes out of the FBI van, and he looks like Peter Hotez. His hair's all jacked up. He's got like one shoe on, and he just goes, did I just score? Oh, it's such a good movie. Oh, such a fantastic movie. I digress. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. What about the shoot? Okay, yes, we can quote that movie left and right. Do we have time? Oh, son of a biscuit. Okay, we're going to get into America's favorite mayor tomorrow. Illinois has competing worst mayors in the country, and one just got absolutely punked by her entire town. I can't wait for y'all to see it. It is absolutely fantastic. Brendan's bringing it right now. Okay. Anyway, let's do this again tomorrow. Thank you for hanging out, you guys. Always share it out, like it, and do all that fun stuff. We'll chat with you tomorrow right here on In Other News. We'll see you.